Dashia D.
And it's Jay Stan.
Welcome back to In Retrospect Podcast, where we look beyond the surface to find understanding.
Bring you laughs, knowledge, and culture.
So sit back, relax, and join the conversation. So, guys, for this first part of today's episode, we are going to do our segment called Let's Unpack This, where either you send in questions or we look at what's going on social media and just look a little deeper into it. So recently, Flau'jae Johnson did I don't watch sports, forgive me, but they did a post-game interview. That's okay. A post-game interview.
Yeah, that's what they call it. But first and foremost, y'all just got to look at the setup. It's crazy. It's getting better. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Keep tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. But as my co-host Dashia D was talking about the interview with Flau'jae Johnson and Angel Reese after they lost to Caitlin Clark and the March Madness that did numbers. First and foremost, round of applause for women's basketball. All around, all in all, it was crazy. I know Flau'jae, they did the interview, of course, where she was defending Angel Reese for everyone. And from their perspective, everybody was attacking Angel for how Angel was acting. And it did come off as that because some may say that, it looked like Angel plays the villain when she wants to. And sometimes she does and sometimes she doesn't. But it's very evident if you pay attention closely that it does not seem that she is being treated like any other athlete would be treated if they were to act that way. Correct me if I'm wrong. It does seem like somewhat of a double standard.
So what's happening with Angel Reese, right, is something we call intersectionality. And what that means is people have different parts of their identity that might impact the amount of privilege they have or don't, right? So for starters, Angel is a woman, right? Women don't have as much privilege as men do, right? Because we live
specifically in sports. And
right. But in general, right? So
too.
When she is confident, then people perceive that as her being too cocky. Yet we are okay with football players doing the Dougie in the end zone, right? Because they're proud of themselves. Or we're okay with Floyd Money Mayweather, right? Flossing on the gram and doing whatever he does because we expect men to be bosses. But for some reason, for a young woman at that, to be that confident in her abilities and know her worth, it makes people uncomfortable. And then you add the fact that she is a Black woman. So now she's dealing with misogyny and racism on top of that.
Yeah. And I know I've seen like a lot of folks chime in on the whole coot and caboodle, whatever. It's a saying. I tore it up. It is what it is. But what I'm getting at is everybody wants to chime in on the situation. Me personally, I just feel as if though it's not fair to Angel because athletes do this all the time. Athletes get on the court, field, track, wherever they may be performing, and they talk trash. That's part of what goes down. I mean, some people don't talk, some people talk. That's what some people do. And I guess, the issue now is it's like it's new to folks that are tuning in for the first time and think that women are supposed to be proper when they're in high intensity situations playing a sport. And you can see the double standard. And obviously, it's really crazy because it's an emotional game. Anytime you're playing a sport or something that is competitive in general, you're going to be emotional. And for some reason, it just comes off as if they want Angel to be proper any and every time. And I will say she did get the bad end of the stick when it does come to the media side of everything, because in my honest opinion, it did not seem like a lot of people were coming to her defense. But I will say a lot of folks were trying to send a message or give a message of inspiration to her. And it really just came off as putting her down, saying what she wasn't doing was right. Oh, you want to be the big dog? You got to act like a big dog all the time. If you're the villain, be the villain. But hey, everybody's human.
So my only pushback on that is the fact that I think it goes beyond sports, right? So that's why I brought up the intersectionality piece. I feel like Black women in particular are not allowed to just function as everyone else. And we're talking about the workplace. If you're shy, right, and you're quiet, you might be perceived as a bitch, But if a white woman does it, then she's quiet. She's shy. That's Susie. But if Dashia does it, then she's mean and she's unapproachable.
That's Susie. I know what you mean.
So
that's Susie.
It goes further than that, right? Because we deal with that in our everyday life. I know for me, I can't have it like I'm damn if I do, damn if I don't, right? If I go to work and I'm super smiley and I'm joking around with everybody, they're like, you're always happy. You always smiling, right? But on the flip side, if I'm stressed out, right, and as someone who deals with anxiety, I get quiet, I'm tunnel vision. They're like, you got an attitude, you something wrong with you. It's like, y'all can't have it both ways. Either you want me to be friendly and social or stay in a bubble. So I just think people should be cognizant of that we are humans too. Even in the workplace, we feel our feelings regardless of what the job is. So
I still say the internet in general is just a weird place. So you're going to get a lot of opinions with social media now. So a lot of people have access to, I guess, just putting their ideas out there. And 9 times out of 10, a lot of these folks putting their ideas out there don't have profile pictures or you don't know who they are. But just because she's high profile, like I understand what you're saying, just to be relatable to everybody and every day, the 9 to 5 person, of course, they deal with that on a regular basis. It's just she's dealing with it on a national scale, but it's the same. It's there. People have to look at it for what it is. But so many times we just overlook it. That's really what happens. We see it every day, and it's just amazing how it seems like we're starting to become numb to a lot of things in society.
So, speaking of social media, Cenat, who is a popular Twitch streamer, recently, I think to yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, but recently he got into a feud online with an OnlyFans performer. I guess that's what I'll call her, because they had like an interaction, and for whatever reason, she chose to leak those text messages showing that he sent her
some change,
$5,000 plus to sleep with him. And so because she shared those text exchanges, he was like, I'm taking you to court. And so now, everyone's reacting. And Kai's been in the news a lot lately, so he might need to chill out.
I don't know how that works, because it doesn't sound like she signed no NDA. Now all of a sudden he's bad mouthing her, but she got all these text messages showing everything that happened, transpired, and it's just like, dude, just move on. Don't even feed into it. I mean, it happened. It is what it is. I mean, hey, she got the receipts. I mean, hey, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. That's your business. Now, on her end, I don't know what prompted her to do that, because what is there to gain is what I'm trying to understand. But clout.
Yeah,
clout is a hell of a drug.
Followers, or you might have other men who's like, damn, he paid $5,000. You must be got that good. So let me reach out to her. I don't know, or let me join her OnlyFans. Like maybe it was marketing. Maybe it was marketing for her. If it was, great strategy. I don't know how he's gonna sue her though.
I'm over there fucking with the lights. It's all good. Keep going.
I'm just saying, like, I don't know how he's going to sue her, because I don't know how, like, because she didn't sign anything. I'm assuming.
I'm pretty sure she didn't. And then the crazy part about all of that is, if there was no NDA like signed, he can't stop her. She did nothing wrong. She's just exposing a conversation that took place, and that's just what happened. So it's wild from the perspective that he's like, oh, we're going to take her to court. And it's just like, everybody wants to be a lawyer, but you can't. Everybody's not going to court. But not behind that. Like, he's not going to win. It might be a good time. Damn, but this shit going crazy in the back.
And to be honest, I think more men should be like Cenat, right? Hear me out.
Oh, this is going to be good.
If you need some TLC and you're in a relationship where you're dating people, I think that if you're not in a relationship, right, and you don't want to lead people on just so you can get in their pants, pay a sex worker. That is their profession. That is what they do. I mean, hey, now $5,000. I don't know that the average person has that to just drop on somebody for some coochie. I don't think the average person does that or can do that.
He got expensive taste. He got expensive taste. That's all it shows, I guess. But I mean, hey, the situation in general is just wild. There's no discretion anymore. I was confused, and I was just like, why is he? What is he talking about? Then all of a sudden, he said, I'm taking to court. All of a sudden, she was already talking about it, and then she just leaked all the messages. And now it's just like, it's out there. At this point, bro, it is what it is. I mean, you did what you did. Move along. Don't give it no energy. I mean, hey, that's what you like. That's what you like. That's what you like to do. I mean, I'm not knocking nobody. I mean, everybody do their thing. I mean, that's what he's doing. He's doing his thing. Now, like I said, I don't know what she got to gain from none of that.
Speaking of black men slinging schlong, so Cam Newton had an interview with Shannon Sharp.
You got it.
Okay. With Shannon Sharp, and to be fair, I have not watched the interview in its entirety, right? But I've seen the clip where it is Shannon Sharp, right? They're discussing the fact that Cam Newton has 8 kids. A lot of kids. And multiple babies' mothers. And so, of course, that sparked up the conversation on social media. And we've been here before, right? We, Black community, have been here before with this topic. I don't know what new could be said about it.
What's wrong exactly?
No, what are your thoughts on it?
I mean, he's taking care of the kids.
Is he?
Yeah. Said he want more kids.
Oh, I saw that. You know, like I've said before.
I mean, he's been there for them. I mean, as far as I've seen from the outside looking in, granted, I don't know what it looks like behind the scenes, but from everything that I see from the outside looking in, it looks like he's there for them kids. He said on the interview, of course, I watched the whole joint. He said on the interview, he's going to these practices, he's going to all the events for the kids. He says he's doing all of that. So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if you doing with your part, you going everything, hey, he's there. But you know what I'm saying? From outside looking in, it looks like he's there. So,
and I mean, hey,
if he's there, he's there. That's the way I'm looking at it.
That's what works for them and their family. By all means, if y'all like it, I love it. My pushback to that is, I want us to stop normalizing that. And I'm going beyond Camden. I would like us to stop normalizing having multiple kids just at this house, this city, this state. Like, that is not normal behavior. If you are that open with your body, right? I feel like something deeper is there that you probably need to be addressing. Because
you want to give everybody that's probably tuning in for the first time some background on why you feel that way, or
what do you mean?
Like in general, why you think that's not conducive or healthy in general?
If you don't want to catch STDs,
that's not what
or you don't want pregnancies. Okay, so what do you want me to say?
I'm talking about the different households. That's what you was hitting on. The different households not having kids being raised, not with, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I feel like that's why I feel like we've said all of those things before, that those kids who are not growing up in the home with their other parent, they're going to have a harder time trying to form an emotional relationship with the parent. Like, yeah, he might have the money, right? Because people love to say that, well, he's rich and but it takes more than money to raise children. And we all know that. And also, a part of raising children is them seeing the way that you treat their mother, or the way that you mistreat her or love her or lack thereof. And that starts to form their beliefs of what a relationship looks like, how a man should treat me, how I should treat a woman, or whatever the case may be. And so then the cycle just continues. Like, I know that people joke about it of, oh, Nick Cannon building his own tribe, or you got
that's on a whole different level what he got going on.
Yeah, I know.
At least I know Cam got the kids, all the kids in the house. All of them. Nick got them in different states.
What's that guy's? Oh, YB. He has kids all over the country.
We're talking about a young boy.
And he's like 25 or younger. So that means it's only up from here. So I don't know. I would like for our Black men to dig a little deeper and try to figure out why is it that I feel the need to be with this one, and have kids with them. If you want to have sex, by all means, do you. But protect yourself. You don't need to create broken homes all over the U.S. And I digress.
Well, thank you, Dashia. Thank you. Well, what more can be said? At the end of the day, live your life like you want to live it, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure everybody understands what comes with it. And if you don't know what comes with it, you'll find out sooner or later. I also was curious to know in regards to the Cam Newton situation. I just wanted to talk about real quick. He also did hit on that he understands that the stature of like his celebrity in general, he knows that everybody is always looking at him for as to be an example, but he always tells kids all the time to make sure that you try to be better than what he is. So I just want to put that out there, of course. And he always says that he's not perfect.
That's like a parent saying, do as I say and not as I do.
Hey.
And do y'all do it? No.
Parents say sayings all the time. You look back and you say, wow. That's what you can't say. After moving on from Cam, we're going to talk a little bit about the Ari Lennox situation. It's not really a situation, more of her just posting on her story. I believe 27 times of Joe Budden getting punched or slapped in the back of his head. And then she had some choice words at the end saying for him to keep her name out of his mouth. I was just curious to know, what are your thoughts on Ari Lennox's post? I wouldn't say it was random, but of course her post in regards to Joe Budden.
I thought it was funny. At the very least, I thought it was funny because obviously she has a strong disdain for him based on critiques that he has made about her as an artist. Now, there were some people saying like, well, men need to stay out of women's business and men shouldn't be commenting on women. To a certain extent, I can see where that's coming from, but I feel like in the space that he's in, which is a podcast where they talk about things and culture, music, sports, whatever, he's going to comment on those things naturally, right? Whether it's good or bad. Now, Joe Budden, from what I've known of him, he can be very crass, right? He's not one who knows how to articulate something in a way that someone can receive it nicely. So I don't blame her. Like, if you don't like somebody and they get popped or you hear something happen to them, not death, obviously, but something happens, you are probably going to laugh. I don't know that anyone is that big of a person like, no, that's so, I feel so bad for him. I don't see anything.
She said pop, like bang, bang.
No, I said that's pop. Weird. That's what he got, popped in the back of his head.
Oh, okay. I didn't know where you was going with that. But yeah, as you can see, it got to the point where you can tell she just got fed up with it all. Joe Budden does chime in on a lot of different situations, and he does touch a lot of nerves. And this is not the first time. He constantly is getting into it with different folks that he does talk about. He does not shy away from it. It's interesting because if you watch his podcast, he'll talk about it vaguely, and then the co-hosts around him be like, "No, man, what do you mean by that? Just tell us a little bit more." And he'd be like, "All right," and then he just speaks his mind. He goes right into it with no consequences or nothing in his mind, saying he's gonna speak his mind and gets it out there. But like you said, he's in that space now where he's gonna talk on any and every topic. And in my honest opinion, he has a lot more insight than a lot of people realize when it comes into these certain situations. To the point, like, I feel like a lot of these folks that are so upset with him, at some point or another, he's talked with them one-on-one. I feel like before it even got that
so
bad.
I don't think that anyone is disagreeing that he has insight. He does. Like I said, it's the way that people love to say like,
I mean, like,
no, just people like to say like, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. That's fine and dandy, but just know that your message is going to fall on deaf ears because it matters how you talk to people. It just does. Two people can be saying the same exact thing, but one isn't a butt about it, and the person who they're talking to, it went over their head because of the way that you're saying it to them. That's all I'm saying. Like he is insightful.
Well, yeah.
But his way of sending that message out is not always the best.
Yeah, and I was hitting on that a little bit. What I was getting at too is some of the people he talks about. He's had like relationships of sorts, or has talked to them before he goes and jumps in the podcast and says what he says.
Well, he doesn't
like he's interacting with people. I know he ain't got nothing word. That's very obvious now. And I mean, maybe it can be mended. Maybe it can't. I highly doubt it. She posted it 27 times and getting mollywopped in the back of his head and security reacting real slow. And then she had choice words at the end. And said, karma don't, go fine.
But my thing is, he should tread lightly on Ari, okay? She's had more hits than him. The only song I know from Joe Budden is Pump, Pump, Pump It. That's the only song I know from him. That is it. That is all.
How's the bang?
Y'all, and how long ago that came out? That came out when You Got Served came out, when people was pumping. Yeah, no. And I love Ari Lennox. So he needs to chill out on her.
We're gonna move along to the next relationship. We're gonna talk about America, and these upcoming elections. Where they got Joe Biden and Donald J. Trump, who was in Atlanta, Georgia, at a Chick-fil-A, and he was getting all kind of love that a lot of people did not expect. He came through Chick-fil-A and he bought a couple of milkshakes, and everybody went crazy. They loved Donnie. What are your thoughts on Donald Trump visiting this Chick-fil-A? And if I'm not mistaken, the location was
near Morehouse.
Yeah,
so
like deep
West Atlanta.
Yeah, he was down in the trenches, man.
Excuse me. I think sometimes that we as a community have Stockholm syndrome. Stockholm syndrome is basically when someone is harmful to you, but you're so used to that relationship basically that you begin to defend that person and be okay with them, and you just grown accustomed to it. Now, I'm going to push you all to go and get the official definition, but that's just me summarizing. I say this because Donald Trump has made it very clear that he is racist. He's made it very clear. He does not like us. He honestly, I feel like, only likes rich people, wealthy people, rather, specifically white men. So for him to come to one of the blackest cities in the country and go to a chicken spot near HBCUs, and then for them to be gathered, because they look young. They look like high school, maybe early college age. So to me, they're kids. But like they're gathered there. Yes, sir. Uh-huh. Yeah. Like I just wasn't feeling it. It felt yucky. I didn't like it. And he's just standing there like, yeah, see, I came on down and I bought some milkshakes. See, I like the blacks. So I could have done without it. I didn't expect that in my bingo card for 2024, So.
Yeah, it's election season. So we're going to see a whole lot of it. It's only just begun. As you all can see, there's a lot of promises being thrown out there: student loan forgiveness, visiting Chick-fil-A's, putting street names for famous folks on streets that are celebrities, trying to get that vote. It's that time of year. The whole Donald Trump situation, me personally, it's interesting.
And all he wanted was a photo op.
He knows how to do it. He knows how to work certain folks. He knows just what to say to certain people. He knows exactly what areas to go into and how to get to people. Food, money, and him just being there. Because a lot of people all I would say is I would I would tell everyone to, of course, go do your research and choose who you'd like to, of course, support, but not just with our presidential election, but definitely with your local elections, of course. Please definitely go look into those folks that are running because it starts there. So a lot of folks are saying, well, I don't agree with this, that, and the third, but please, the presidential election is important, but the local election is just as important. So please go study everyone that is running for these offices.
Speaking of that, to further go into that with local offices. So y'all, I can't get too deep into it because I still got to keep my job, right? But parents, when it comes to school board meetings, I need you guys to attend those. They offer them virtually. You can click on it on your phone while you're on your lunch break.
Town halls too.
Yeah.
Town halls are also virtual too.
You can click on your phone while you're on your lunch break. Just let it play, and if you have a question, they have time to just put it in the chat. Because going back to us as a community, one thing we are raised with is what goes on in this house stays in this house. And what's very interesting that I'm learning now that I'm working in the school district, we carry that mentality into work. And so when there are times where the powers that be come to our schools and ask, how are things? Everybody's like, we good, we Gucci. When in reality, we're not, right? Like we are fighting for our lives every day, right? But because no one is speaking up, then they're like, oh, well, you're fine. And then you just continue to struggle. But then you have those lone people like myself. I'm not that person. If I see, smell, and hear the elephant in the room, I'm going to say it. I'm going to point it out. And we need more of that. We need more of that energy, because things are not going to change until we start to shift our mindset about how we think about things. Because we may not like the Trumps of the world, but those are the people who are in power currently. And if we want to shake things up, we have to use our voice. Just point blank, period. I digress.
Oh, no, I agree. Everybody needs to educate themselves, of course. Understand that every time you're saying you don't got time, somebody else has time to definitely do their research and then get the one up on whatever situation you're upset about. Definitely, please, like, you just don't know what you're missing when you're not attending these virtual, everything's virtual, or you can attend or see what's going on virtually online through links. You just don't understand what you're missing out on. Something's being rezoned. Your tax-paying dollars are going somewhere that you may not agree with at all. And you're trying to figure out, why did this go up in this area? Why does this cost so much now? Because your money's being reallocated to different places that you have no clue, and you don't know why, because you didn't turn the town hall.
And they count on us to not show up.
So it's important that you definitely tune in and definitely look into those different offices, as well as those different town halls, the meetings that school board meetings in particular. That way you can just know what's going on, because you have no idea how that can definitely affect you, as well as a child, as well as anyone that may be related to you in general. So just definitely pass that along. Just telling somebody, hey, just take some time out of your day just to attend one, and then maybe two, and just start from there, one at a time. Not saying you to come to every single one, but definitely attend them so you know what's going on.
So let us know below your thoughts on any of the stories that we talked about, because we talked about quite a bit today. Comment below, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you haven't already, I have been Dashia.
And I've been Jay Stan.
Join us every other Friday at noon.
And always remember to like, comment,